Today, on 15th of June 2024, I am right now near Gare d'Austerlitz, one of the major train stations in Paris. I reached Paris on last Sunday. This is the first weekend for me in Paris. I went to Bercy saying to catch the bus in the morning. Unfortunately, I missed the bus, so decided to take train towards Tours. Once I reached Tours, I decided to take tour to one of the most famous castles in France named Château de Chenonceau. I reached the train station. There is no bus connection here. Only you can hire a car or bus from the travel agent, then only you can reach there. The place is really beautiful. The area is surrounded by tall trees, and I am going towards the Château. In France, there are many chateaux. Out of them, this is one of the most famous chateaux. You can call it a palace. The Château was made around 700 to 800 years back first time, and then remade around 500 years back. And from that time there were many people, many kings and queens. They spent their times in this Château. I decided to take an audio tour so that I can get to know the better history of this place. In Loire Valley, where the Loire River is the main source of water, this is the second most beautiful and second big chateau. The first one is the Château de Chambord, which probably I'll visit someday, but right now it is turned for Château de Chenonceau. This is Loire River, and the Château is made in such a way that it is actually making an island inside the Loire River. This time of the year, France is very good to visit. Not that much cold and not that much hot, but sometimes temperature changes based on the sunlight. I entered the Château and took the audio tour. There are 19 rooms in this Château. And in the audio tour, if you enter the room number, it will say the history of that room. And I was quite surprised. Although it is very far away from India, most of the stories of about human emotions which are related to same as what happened in India, like extramarital affairs, sometime love rejections, and sometime the sorrow of not giving birth to children. All the rooms are having different history, and sometimes you can visit the window to see the beauty of the nature. Our journey first started from the kitchen area because it has a quite big kitchen, and I heard that it served many people in the time of war. And pizza was introduced by one queen who lived here to the French people, because pizza was actually an Italian dish. There are many pictures on the wall. Some of them are the kings, some of them are the queens, and some of them depict the culture and history of that place. Whenever I got opportunity to go to the balcony, I went there, tried to capture the picture of the river, and they preserved it so well. Sometime when I was listening to the audio, they are saying that the mattress or the bed cover, they are unchanged for last 300 years or more. So they tried to preserve the sanity of that place as much as they could. I kept on going upstairs, floor by floor, and sometimes I found some interesting stories about the queen. Some queens having some affair with the king, but the king did not respond that one properly. And sometimes the jealousy of the queen because the king loved some other person. It is really interesting to hear this kind of story. When we listen this kind of stories from Indian perspective, we think that this is the story of eastern part of the world, but in the western part of the world also the similar stories were prevalent. Sometimes some child got abused, sometimes they were misbehaved or they was abandoned because of some love affair to someone else. The exact same stories we heard when we were on our childhood about some Indian kings and queens. The place is full of paintings, full of decorations, full of pictures, and obviously the beauty of the gardens and the Loire River. And the last room is the most gloomy ones, where I heard the story of a queen who could not give birth to child, and that's why she separated herself from everyone and stayed in a room where the mattresses, the bed covers, everything was in black and the light could not enter properly in that room. The outside view is really beautiful to capture. And they made so much activities in this area, so one can spend the whole day here. Walking down the streets, from cycling to kayaking as well as to take boat ride. There are places to find snacks and food, but I was not in a mood to have something, so I just walked around the areas. In the garden there were fountains, but I don't know, it was not working that way. There are places to capture better and better pictures. This is the opposite side of the castle, where there is an entry to a huge garden. People have chosen that place for cycling as well. And there is a graveyard. I went towards that graveyard in the jungle. After that, if you walk down, you can find the street for roadways, although I have to catch the train, so I had to go towards the train station. But I came to know that the train will arrive around 1.5 hours from now. So I decided to walk down the street on the opposite side of the railway station. These buildings were also made in the similar structure and they looked quite old. Mostly there are restaurants and pubs and some houses. Usually the people who go to the Château, they come these places to have food. There is a tourist center near that area. Right now I am going towards the train station. See you from somewhere in the world. Like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel. Goodbye everyone.